I didn't know what I was going through. I never taught, like, you know how people say they get into like depression phases. I know people who said that and like have been there, but like to really be in it, I think the scariest part was at first I didn't even realize that like I was in a low moment and the low moment was taking over my life until I like really took a step back and like stopped fighting the fact that like I was feeling different than how I normally felt. Sorry. When I tell y'all that low moment, it taught me a lot. Like I've learned a lot, and the biggest thing, I remember praying through it, like the whole time, just praying through it, because I didn't know what I was going through. I never taught, like, you know how people say they get into like depression phases. I know people who said that and like have been there, but like to really be in it and be able to identify that as that, especially because this was like my first time going through anything like this, I was like, what the heck is happening to me? Like, I think the scariest part was at first I didn't even realize that like I was in a low moment and the low moment was taking over my life until I like really took a step back and like stopped fighting the fact that like I was feeling different than how I normally felt. And I was like, yo, something's really going on. So like, something's going on. I feel like whenever there's a high moment, there's a low moment that either has already happened or it's going to follow. But in either moment, you should kind of take that time to figure out why you're there and what you're supposed to learn, and how can you make this something that like either you never go back to. And that's not even guaranteed. Like, I don't know if we can always control life to the point where like whatever low moment you hit, you never go back there. But like, one thing I told myself is like, if I ever get to the point, and there are days, today there are days where I wake up and I'm like, yo, did I make the right decision? What am I doing? Like, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know how to reprogram my thinking, like real quick. Like, I know how to reprogram it real quick, so I don't even slip into that phase of like the pity party. Because for real, it's like, as long as you're living, breathing, and you're able to think and process, you're never stuck anywhere. But like, a lot of times when we get in those low moments of like, either it's loneliness or it's you can't figure it out, you don't feel resourceful, or it's just maybe you're just scared, like something is new, maybe you move somewhere new, you're trying something new, you got a new job, you want to elevate. Because my thing was elevation. Like, I wanted elevation in everything, my job, my living circumstances, like me as a person in a relationship. Like, I wanted to elevate everything at that time. But it was just like, I was scared because the things I normally do to try and control me doing that weren't working. And then it got to a point where like I felt like it was, sorry, I know I'm saying like a lot, but this is because I'm really thinking and talking through this right now. But I don't know if you've ever been in a position where you feel like you gotta fight your way out of something. And normally with me, I'm really big on, you back yourself into a corner, you have no choice but to fight your way out that corner. Still believe that, and it's still facts. But sometimes life and God will keep you in that corner, and it don't matter how much. You ever saw the thing where somebody's like holding the person's head and the person's fighting? That's you. It don't matter how much like you're fighting to get out that corner, how much you're trying to work things out, how much money you got, how much money you don't have, whatever the case may be. If it's your time to be still in something, oh, He gonna keep you still. Like, when I tell y'all, I was shook. Like, I was still. Nothing. I was trying everything. I was applying for other jobs. I tried to quit my job twice. I thought about leaving LA and moving to another state. I was just, I don't know. I was just over it. And the crazy thing is like, I don't doubt that none of that other stuff would have worked, because it always normally does. Like, but it was literally at that point where it was time for me to sit in that corner a little bit more. Like, God wasn't finished with me where I was at, so He didn't let the other shows I was sending my reel to, He didn't let none of them casting agents call me back. He didn't let I went on an international talent search and made it to the point where it was me and the producer sitting and looking at each other like this for the show through the chemistry read for a major network. Still got turned down. He didn't let them, and that was a nice offer too. It was a 6-figure. He didn't let that come my way. He didn't let me have the, I was this close to just getting up and leaving LA and moving somewhere else and just literally trying, like, figuring it out from scratch, because I felt like I got myself into a position where, like, I was just so stuck here and I didn't see any other options here. He didn't let none of that work out. And normally things work out. Like, when I push for something, I'm a pusher. Like, I'm a person that, like, I might not be the best at long-term planning, but like, I'm an executor and I can plan along the way. Like, I'm good on my feet. Like, I'm real good on my feet. He didn't let none of that happen, and I just couldn't understand it. And I think that's what was making me so sad, and that's where the depression came in, because I started blaming myself. I wasn't even, it wasn't hitting me. Like, I hadn't learned what I needed to learn from it yet, because all I was thinking about was myself. And again, why am I here? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Why didn't I say nothing about this? But it was in those moments of the things that I was trying to make happen that I learned the most. So, like, when I tried to leave one situation, there'd be a conversation that I would have within that situation that make me realize, like, yo, maybe you didn't explore all your options over here. Like, you know, like, maybe you should think twice. When I was trying to leave state, what I was trying to leave for just did, it was like, one day I was having meetings, we were taking phone calls, blah, blah, and the next day I couldn't get nobody on the phone. Like, not even, and it's not even on me. Like, I'm calling, I'm following up, I'm texting, I'm shooting emails, but like, I couldn't get nobody on the phone. And in that moment is when I really started to realize, like, yo, you might be forcing it a little bit. And I don't think I've ever told myself that. Like, the last time I told myself, like, yo, you're fighting and you're fighting against yourself, was when I left Delta to work for TMZ. I was running this race and I just wasn't equipped for it. That's how I felt. Like, I kept running into a wall. So throughout all these moments, as these things are happening, when I finally started to get some clarity, and that was honestly God, like, that was through prayer, because I'm very hard-headed. Like, I had my boyfriend, he was telling me, like, yo, I think you got so much right here in your lap, you need to just really hone in on it more. Like, I understand what you're saying, but like, I think there's so much more. But at the end of the day, it's like, everybody knows how I am, even my friends. Like y'all ever saw that meme on Instagram? It's like, when anybody that has ever been in a dark place and pulled themselves out of it, I'm proud of you. Nah, real shit, I'm proud of you, because like, I feel like mine was just more of like, it was very selfish. It was about me not, you know, because I didn't see anything instantly, like, I didn't see any instant gratification for what I thought I wanted at the time, I got upset. So selfish. It's people really out here dealing with things that are emotionally draining them and taking them to the point where, like, they don't even think that they can live the next day. Like, suicide is a real thing. It was so selfish, like, what I was going through. And when I finally got clarity on, like, everything and how I was feeling and why I was trying to make the rash decisions I was making, one of the things, like, the biggest thing that I, to this day, is, to this day, one of the biggest things that, like, I think I learned through all of that was, like, faith. It's so selfish. I was so focused on everything I wanted to do, and it wasn't happening fast enough, and things just weren't, like, I don't know, like, I take on a lot sometimes, and I feel like I took on so much during this time that, like, I just, when I couldn't see no way out without me having to take the long road, I was ready to jump ship, because I already know, like, I'm gonna jump ship, but I'm gonna learn how to swim on the way down, so I'm cool. But like, that wasn't what was meant for me. That wasn't what was destined for me. So like, I got sat still and it woke me up, and I really through all of this learned faith. Like, faith. Now it don't matter. I still get upset about things. I still, like I said, some days wake up and be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why did I sign up to host this event? Or I don't want to host this event, but I need the money. Or I don't want to host this event, but like, Loren, you can't turn down anything. You on your grind right now. You got to do this. Or I don't want to get up and do this shoot for season of solo or for anything. No one's making me get up and do this stuff, but like, You said you wanted a fashion brand. You said you wanted to model and, you know what I'm saying, build your brand as a fashion girl in television. So that's what the opportunity is presenting itself. So you got to get up and deliver. But like, sometimes I still get to those selfish points, but my thinking within them are like so much different now. Like, and that's my long way of telling y'all that, like, for every high that you're going to hit, the lows, it's like the foundation. It's like the building point for you. And it's like it motivates you to like hustle and keep going and like hustle harder. And then when you get in those positions of like a low point, it's your saving grace. It's the thing that's going to pick you up and be like, nope, gotta be quicker than that. Like, nah, like we not going back there. Like, we about to figure this out. We about to track this out. We about to whatever we got to do. I'm just really thankful that with every high there is a low, and if not even with every high, but I'm thankful for the lows that I have had, because they taught me how to keep going when I feel like I'm at a high, or when sometimes it's not even you, other people put you in this high position. And it's so hard to be going through something when you're here, because people feel like you can't be going through anything. But I've learned how to be here and be going through things and keep it going, and not allow myself to get so low that like it just messes me up, where like now I might close a door that God is saying, no, this door is still open, because I need you to walk back and forth a couple times until you really understand why I have you in this room. And then once you understand that, you'll not just walk through this door, but you're gonna walk in that room and own that room. And then I'm gonna take you to the next room, and then I'm gonna take you to the next house, and then I'm gonna take you to that next chain of houses, next chain of condos. Like, yeah,